Yeah, it is started now.
You can, if you want to put it in the screen mode, full screen mode, you can. Yeah.
Okay, you ready, Balaji?
Yeah, already recording now.
Oh, okay, can we start?
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Venkatesh. A very, very warm welcome to all of you on a Saturday morning here in California, and then perhaps other times in other places from where you're participating. I'm a co-host along with Balaji. Balaji has been started and run this organization and this meetup for over 2 years. Brings a lot of passion for everybody that knows him, and a lot of commitment to what we are doing here. And at the end of the day, the goal has been fairly simple, which is to exchange information, spark conversations, generate some good ideas, and every event that I've attended has obviously symbolized that in its true form. Today, the topic is about the interplay between art and the creative arts and technology and specifically AI and quantum. You know, art, as we all know, as serves both as an enabler, as an influence, as an impetus, as a core tech within the technology. And Virendra will get into a lot more details around it. This has been this meetup has been a voluntary effort all along, and we do want to thank everybody that's been involved, especially Vaseline, who's been advising us for many years, and to that extent, as part of this event, you know, and as part of what we are trying to do, we always want to make it better, and generate some new ideas that we can then implement. And so, to that extent, Balaji will do some in-event surveys, which will take more than a minute to complete, which will be very, very useful for us to take as feedback and see how we can do this event better. So before I hand it over to Virendra, Vaseline had a great idea given the small group and the value of the small group. It'd be great to quickly go around and introduce yourself. Maybe just a couple of things. One, obviously your name, where you're from, and what do you do today, and what's your interest, obviously, in our meetup. So I'll start by quickly saying this. My name is, again, Venkatesh. Been around the Valley, Silicon Valley, for a long time. Done a few different things. I have a lot of corporate experience from taking products to market and also building and scaling companies from a people and talent standpoint. Act as an advisor and mentor to entrepreneurs through Stanford University and GSV Labs and a few other places. And if you can go in this order, whoever's next on the screen can pick it up. And actually, Balaji should go first, and then everybody else.
And I suggest, because our screens could be scrambled,
the
person who is talking, when they are done, they will point who will be next, and
okay, great.
It will simplify.
That's wonderful. So Balaji, do you want to go next?
No, this is Pranita's presentation, so she will be, so...
just introduce yourself, Balaji.
Okay. So... Yeah. This is the Zen for Quantum meetup is organizing a lot of quantum-related topics. It started with the AI initially, and it moved to quantum later. And we have done 54 meetups so far. And Professor Vaseline and Venkatesh Virendra, they are volunteering and advising for this meetup. And we have Ed also. So we have... done a conference also in the beginning of this year, and future we are planning to do some more talks from different quantum topics like security, AI, and more in depth. And so now I will hand over to Virendra to continue with the presentation and introducing speakers. Virendra.
Thank you, Balaji, for that kind introduction and introducing already myself. So we have been involved with this group. My area of interest has been AI, ML, and expert systems. That's been where I earned my PhD, and then also into the business side. At the same time, I am global startup ambassador. If you are a startup and you are looking forward to coming together using Oracle platforms and Oracle softwares, you can definitely make use of that. And you can reach out to me for help, and I can get you initiated into those programs as well. And as part of this program, when I got associated with this organization, Zen for Quantum, as I saw, starting from database arena, shifted into AI and ML arena and did my research. And then I saw this was one of the major areas, as we saw a few years ago, absolutely budding along. And as we all have been discussing in this forum, AI from its advent to today where it is, it's now everywhere. It has intruded into our lives everywhere. And we'll see more, some interesting situation here today when we discuss the whole topic. And I'll come back to our speaker's introduction later. And I will request last person to hand it over back to me. So the idea is AI took a lot of solid 20 years, whatever plus years, to finally make way into our lives. But all are anticipating, in spite of all the crunch and all the money needed, all the infrastructure needed, quantum computing is not going to take that time. It's moving at much faster pace than AI and ML transformation. So this group and forum has been the forefront of it, trying to think, trying to produce this vision. And as Balaji explained, we did one conference. Vijay and Balaji, we were co-advisors for the conference. And as we have been associated with this group, most, we want to bring in more and more ideas, more and more integrations into the society, and how this whole thing is basically dwelling into our lives as we move forward. So the good part is intelligent systems to this side, and then going forward with quantum. That's where we are headed next, and let's keep marching on towards that goal. And with that, I'll bring Professor Vijay to introduce himself as a participant in the program today.
Thank you, Vinda. Thank you, Balaji and Venkatesh. This is really very exciting, and I kind of enjoy the break of coronavirus talks and activities. Like already mentioned, we've been doing this for almost 2 years, starting with the last year conference. And I found that Balaji is really a very creative person, bringing seemingly very kind of disjoint points of view, and bringing together, converging to ideas that may have some impact in the future. So as Verinda mentioned, and my background is physics and quantum computing. So I currently teach some quantum computing courses and mentoring few students for the Quantum Open Source Foundation. And myself, I'm trying to build a startup that will be using quantum computing for the future. So probably I should have more meetings with Verinda and Venkatesh talking about this, how we can do it. But today I really enjoy that Balaji brought the idea of bringing art with quantum computing. And I'm looking forward to talk about that. So after that, probably I'll pass to, I see there's in my left lower corner, Anna Barbara. Anna, would you like to introduce yourself?
Anna Barbara Fernandez.
Yeah. And I just post my LinkedIn in the chat. If somebody wants to get in touch with me or just stay in touch through LinkedIn. Anna? If Anna is not, then probably Helen?
Hey, she says she doesn't have a mic now, so we should go on to somebody else.
Okay. Helen?
Veselin, she says she doesn't have a mic now in the chat. So she says.
No, I think Helen turned it on the mic.
Oh, she did. Okay.
But then turn it off, I don't know. I saw that Anna. Yeah. Helen, go ahead.
Hi, this is Helen. I'm from Washington, D.C., and I've been helping Dr. Gosho to find speakers for Washington, D.C. Quantum Computing Meetup.
Great, thank you. Can you suggest who would go next?
Cynthia.
I think I'll take over. Don't worry, I think that's okay. I'll point to the next person for introduction. Cynthia, please.
Hi, I'm not a presenter.
Well, we are just looking for the mix of people to have the introduction. Which area? What are your interests? So as just quickly to get around that. Very quick introduction.
Okay, my name is Cynthia Cho. I've been a data planner for 7 years, and I'm entering the field of data science, and I have come to this presentation because I'm interested in quantum computing and applications. More, I was very impressed about quantum and AI in music and arts.
Awesome. Stay tuned. We are on right there. Let's have next person, Laila. Is it Leila or Laila? How you pronounce it? I mispronounced it. Leila, can you turn on your mic quickly and introduce yourself?
Hey, my name's Leela. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm just coming into this presentation because I'm interested in intersections of art and science, and also I work as a professional artist, so seeing what the future of the technology is going to be like is really interesting to me. And
Awesome.
I'm currently, yeah.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, whoever is next.
Sydney, you're next. Sydney, can you turn on your mic, please? Clicking on the mic icon. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I was confused between Cynthia or Sydney. I thought you were Sydney was a different person.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. It's okay. I'm in the same boat as Layla. Oh wow, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm totally butchering your name. I'm a student of in the STEM profession, and I'm just interested in the intersections of art and science as well. So, and that's why I'm here.
Thank you, Sydney. George, you are next.
Hi, I'm George. I'm a retired software engineer. I'm now taking a course in quantum foundations because I find the math behind it interesting.
Great. So we'll have some interesting facts for you, George, today, and definitely you're in the right forum here today. Let's go to Kyoko. Thank you, George.
Hello, I'm Kyoko. I'm from Japan, and I arrived in San Jose last week. I'm interested in art and also AI, so in my free time, I like painting, so I joined this meeting. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Kyoko. And we have Rebecca Pangrass. So that's all. I'll request you to put your introduction. We are able to hear you well. Some question. You can maybe mute yourself, put your introduction. Go ahead, please, if you can. And you can put your introduction in the chat, please. That'll be wonderful. And let's go to Stefan. Stefan, are you speaking?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. Please go ahead. Great.
I have like 3 different microphones I can choose from. I'm just an interested observer. I have a BS in physics. I was working in aerospace. I'm interested in using art and science together. I haven't actually done anything that's actually been published or done, and probably won't do that. But as an example, I have my own fan fiction Ghostbusters story from the Ghostbusters TV, or rather movie series. But in my case, I use actual physics principles. So they are able to defeat a ghost, and they're not sure why. And the physicist among the groups explains a physics principle called the Meissner effect, and they explain that's how they're able to defeat the ghost. So I sneak science, engineering, politics, religion into my science fiction work. So that's kind of why I'm here.
Stefan, that's very wonderful. And if we have time today, would you be open to share something on the screen with us?
Yeah, well, again, I could actually read something to you, but if that makes sense, or actually I have it published on LinkedIn, because the nice thing about LinkedIn, you can just stick your own articles in. It's my own work, it's not somebody else's. So if somebody want to actually read what I have and maybe comment, I could like give you a link on the chat window saying what the information is I'm reading. So if someone actually wanted to read more, in the weird case they wanted to, that'd be fine. I don't know if they care or not, but I also have Superman, and again, the idea is I put religion, politics, science, engineering, music, anything I can put into the story that I know something about, which I know very little, but the idea is I do some research and then try to see if I can work that into what I'm doing.
Perfect. So we might reach you later for a small session later on.
All right.
Let's move
Thank you.
now to John. Thank you so much, Stefan. That was very helpful. Let's move over to John, and then we'll get started. That would be our last introduction today.
Bhairav just joined, so
okay, and then definitely I'll introduce Bhairav. Definitely, yeah. As we get into the session, we have full introduction for Bhairav, and I'll be after John. I'll introduce Dr. Pranita, and then we'll get started. John, please go ahead. Quick introduction.
Sure. John Gostomski. I have a little company called Tandoor Data. I've been an artist in the past. I mean, I used to play music. I've done some art, photography, videography. It's about storytelling, and science can get boring sometimes because people inside the field find it very exciting, but the outside people don't know the language. And that's the biggest issue of trying to teach people the language, but not necessarily going as far as it would be to actually be in the field. So you just have to find ways to excite people through visual imagery, audio imagery, and just keep experimenting and find out where the bell goes off, and then you can get them interested.
Perfect. Thank you, John. And I think John and Stefan should make our allied section presentations. Balaji, we should discuss that offline.
I mean, Rebecca, she's also, I think, joined. Actually, Rebecca and myself, we are doing a research topic on bioastronomy using AI. So let Rebecca talk about that a little bit. Rebecca? Hello? Hello?
That's why we skipped, but Rebecca, you can speak clearly, that will be great. Go ahead.
Yeah, the network is not clear, I think.
I think there is a mic problem. No worries. We'll come back to you, Rebecca, towards the end of the session if your mic allows. Definitely. So I think if everybody is okay, let's get started with the main session today. We have our 3 coveted speakers, Dr. Pranita Kamath, Dr. Vijayji, and Bhairav Mehta. And as we get started our interesting session, as titled by Dr. Kamath herself, Science Communication Using Dance. Before we delve into the session, let's learn a little bit more about Dr. Pranita. She is a biomedical scientist with an expertise in vascular biology. She graduated her PhD from University of Bern, and then later on, she was at San Diego in California for a couple of years of postdoctoral research. And now she's back in Zurich, University of Zurich, as postdoc at the lab, as a lab manager. And here comes the diversity, the very celebrated diversity of trained Bharatanatyam Indian classical dance artist. She's a frequent performer. One of her most elaborate performances was at Edinburgh Fringe Festival. She's engaged in science communication, applying her knowledge and experience from science and arts. And she's also involved in a non-profit organization, Swiss Natya Sabha. She's promoting as good as science and Bharatanatyam all together, all at once. What a feat there. Congratulations for that, Dr. Kamath. And she's absolutely leading that for the community of Indian classical dancers and dance aficionados to meet, perform, and exchange ideas in Switzerland, taking Bharatanatyam to Switzerland. What a feat. And then so many things, and in terms of a project, Natya Chitra, which is another her free time activity, and she has conceptualized a workbook for students of Bharatanatyam. Today she's presenting science communication using dance. And she will basically talk how this amalgamation of science and arts happened for her, how she continued her passion of dance while pursuing the field of vascular biology and a complex field like composite tissue transplantation. So you see the intersection and versatility there, and we'll just hear it directly from Dr. Pranita. All floor is yours, Dr. Pranita. Please take it on. And as we go through this, then we'll have some discussion, then some more to learn about more things. Go ahead, Dr. Pranita, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Virendra. I hope everyone can hear me well. And I would just make this a full screen now. So that was a very nice introduction. Thank you again. And hello, everybody. This is really exciting to talk in a very diverse audience as well. Do you see my full screen, or is it still taking time?
You have to press on thumbnail. We are seeing your slide section. So we just, yeah, thumbnail would be good.
Now.
Yeah, this. Thank you. We are good now.
Perfect. So let me just dive into the talk. I am a biomedical scientist and Bharatanatyam artist. And like Dr. Virendra just explained, Bharatanatyam is a classical Indian art form. And the art form was actually developed to tell stories. And shortly, we will come back to what John was saying about telling stories in science. So you see already the connection there. But Bharatanatyam was made to tell stories. And Bharatanatyam empowers the artist with a diverse vocabulary with hand gestures, where each gesture carries a certain meaning, depending on the position also. We also have several movements with our facial expressions, the upper arms, the lower arms. So basically, it gives us a very wide vocabulary to communicate a message. That's Bharatanatyam. So in this picture, on my right hand, I'm using the Chatura Mudra near my eyes, drawing your attention to my eyes. And on the left hand, I use a Suchi Mudra near my temple, depicting the mind, contemplation, or imagination. So basically, this posture indicates a scientist who makes observations and contemplates on these observations. So I come from India, and academia was given a forced prominence in my childhood. So although I had interest in dancing, my parents appreciated that, but not the larger community. During my pre-university, I made sure I graduate with a bachelor's degree in biotechnology and a diploma in Bharatanatyam. And from then, I flew out of India. I went to Scotland for my master's, from Switzerland for my PhD, and then San Diego for my postdoctor. But through all those years, as I was getting trained to become a researcher, I kept presenting my science, I kept interacting with students, and that one thing I kept getting back from my presentations was that I was very expressive, that I use my body language. And that kind of helped in engaging my audience and getting my audience's attention and interest in my work. And I think that is something that developed over years. And when I came back to Zurich and I started to work on my own projects in the university here, it kind of opened up the gates for me to also bring out my expressions into the science. So this video that I'm going to show you now is my presentation at the University Festival, which happened in 2018. And here I'm trying to tell the story of a scientific finding from a publication. In this particular clipping, I'm showing an enzyme that gives life to a cancer patient. However, this enzyme carries a lot of contaminants. And one way to get rid of these contaminants is to put it into a chromatography column, which attaches to which the contaminants can attach to, and then you can have a pure enzyme. So let me just quickly play that one clip. Did the video finish playing for you? Because I think there was a lag.
Yeah, it is finished. I think there is no sound now. If it is finished, or we can't see make out if it's still running or it's done. But I think if it was a clipping, then it has finished, because now your posture is frozen here. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But I hope the video actually translated itself well. I don't know.
If you want to give quick, I would say, elaboration of what you talked about enzyme, and Dr. Prince, if you want to just give us a quick blurb on that, how that was being presented.
So what I'm trying to do there is, let me show it this way. So you see me, right?
Yes, we do see you. And if you want to take a bigger screen and go back, we can turn off the screen. And you can take full video if you need. That would be awesome.
I can do this. So all I tried to show in that video is that there's this enzyme which gives life to a cancer patient, right? But this enzyme has a lot of contaminants. And one needs to get rid of these contaminants. And how can one do that? By using a chromatography column. You take the enzyme, you pour it over the chromatography column, so all the contaminants can stick into the column, and then the pure enzyme can be collected. So that's what I tried to show in this video. It was basically, again, storytelling, scientific findings as a story.
That's beautiful depiction. Thank you. Yep.
There we go. Next slide. Yeah. So we all, as students of science, we study. And in my field, and I'm sure also in many other fields, our topic cannot be seen. Our topic of study cannot be seen, either because it's just too small or it's too abstract. So I'm a vascular biologist, so I take the example of a vessel. Now on the left, you see the cross-section of a blood vessel. So you see the different walls that make up the blood vessel. And then as a student, I imagine this and I reconstruct that into a 3D image and imagine how a blood vessel would look like as a tube, including these 3 layers. Now, this imagination and illustration of this imagination, in my view, is very important because it not only helps me to understand my own topic, but also it helps me to find gaps between my knowledge, which then encourages me to go back and study it further. Let me give a quick example of what I'm trying to say here. This again is clipping from an entire video. This was done in the process of a grant application. But in this particular clipping, I'm showing the episode after transplantation. What you see here, this group of dancers, they are depicting the blood vessel wall. Now, the first row of dancers who are holding the green cloth, they are the innermost lining of a blood vessel. And they form a barrier, they form a wall. And this barrier function is to make sure that the good ingredients from the blood are taken into the body. However, the bad ones are left back in the bloodstream to be taken out of the organism. Now, the second row of dancers, they are the cells, they're depicting the cells which help the blood vessel to contract and expand, thereby helping the blood to pump through the organism. Now, in this clipping, you will see what happens when a white blood cell comes in contact with this blood vessel wall in the context after transplantation. So what you saw was that the white blood cell, this is the bad guy, it attaches itself to one of the cells in this innermost wall, and this cell allows the white blood cell to enter the vessel wall. So the cell who allowed this entry, this dancer has her head down, showing that she's now dysfunctional. But at the moment when we're doing this, the first question these dancers asked to me, so what happens to the surrounding cells? What happens to the other inner lining cells? And I had no answer for it. It made me to go back to my research, go back to my lab, do my experiments, and I did it. And then I could stain for these innermost cells and ask for myself what happens to them. And now I know that they're there, but they're dysfunctional. So what I'm trying to say is when you start to illustrate your science, you understand it better, you start to ask questions, even very simple questions, which then makes you to go back to your science, study it further, understand it further. This last video now is, so until now, let me summarize. So until now, I have shown how we can use dance to communicate science to a non-scientific audience, as in the form of storytelling. We can also use dance to interact with students and other scientists so you can contemplate and understand the topic better. Now, in this last video, this was done in collaboration with CERN, where we tried to explain the Large Hadron Collider, the physics of which I do not have to explain to this audience probably, but I can quickly play the video if it works.
So they put packets of protons, one behind the other, push it through a tube to accelerate this proton. Okay, wait. So let's make this easier. So why don't we all imagine that we are packets of protons and they're lined up one behind each other, and we start moving slowly and accelerating like in the tubes of the So they put packets.
So, yeah. So I would like to summarize with this very nice quote I found from Karin Timpon. If you're an artist, learn science. If you are a scientist, cultivate art. So with that, thank you very much, and I'm open to any discussion or questions.
Okay, I will fire up the first question and the first comment. First, it's awesome storytelling and complete form representation, making people understand the science. That was absolutely beautiful and awesome. It's like absolutely marrying the two together to understand, and as your last slide said, move into each other's paradigm to create yet another beautiful representation there and move forward in that direction. And at this point, I am absolutely tempted. I know this is like we have in this whole presentation, very succinct one, but we see the data science concepts, we see the data visualization there, we see storytelling, and we see AI and ML, which can be leveraged further. And that absolutely is tempting me to change this bit of more subject here and bring in my subject matter expert, Bhairav Mehta, who's a data science expert, who's going to talk to us also as part of the segment. And I want to ask him and ask his comments on this presentation of yours to absolutely react to the forms and how that can be part of computer vision for feature extraction and things like that. I am putting you on spot here, Bhairav. I know I didn't have a chance to full introduction, but I tell you guys, Bhairav is a tremendous data science expert. He has been at Apple and companies, and now he's currently at Microsoft. With that quick introduction, Bhairav, react first, and then I am to bring Professor Vijayji next as well for the linear accelerator and his reaction to that form and presentation. So Vijayji, stay tuned there. I'm coming in the order to get to you as well. But first, Bhairav, absolutely turn your video on if you have control there. Turn it on and give us some more into data science side of this.
Sure.
This is all.
Yeah, so I'll just thank first Dr. Pranita and the Balaji and Mr. Virendra. Thank you for the opportunity to present today. So I was just spellbound, you know. I mean, I have tears in my eyes watching that presentation. You know, it was just spellbound presentation, and I always thought about this stuff in imagination that this is possible, but today seeing it in front of my eyes was just spellbinding. So just to add few things to this, right? So at Microsoft, the reason I joined Microsoft was to do hyper-personalization research. So hyper-personalization research is all about building machine learning models, AI models to understand the behavior of users of the computer and all the other devices and even the software that Microsoft makes. So the next big wave after the AI ML is hyper-personalization, where every breath, every movement of your eyes, every movement of your hands, how you, your face, your color of your face as it changes over time, how your hairs are made up and how they are moving, how your voice is, you know, at given point in time. So we are modeling all of that, and we are building technology at this point in Microsoft research is to understand even your heartbeat, looking at your face. You know, what's your blood pressure, what's your heartbeat. Right now, there is research that can tell you, even looking at your retina, like when you log into your Windows machine, can I tell your mood? How are you happy? Are you sad? Based on your breath, you know, are we able to tell, like, are you stressed or not, right? So we are able to do the signal to intent mapping, and that's a huge area that where AI is going today, and we are able to get very high accuracy and precision recall in that area today. And we are building devices, even using the meeting application that we are using right now, the GoToMeeting. Microsoft has their own called Teams. and we are building in a lot of these different meeting interaction tools using using expressions and AI. And the research is just going in a very interesting direction. And I would agree with Dr. Pranita about the whole. She talked about the corpuscles and how that moves. And I did a lot of work at Apple in Apple Watch area, where we were looking at various ways how the oxygen is absorbed in our bloodstreams. Can we measure it? How accurately we can measure? So I went through a workshop at the Apple Lab almost 3 years back, where they strap on maybe 100 sensors around my body and my mouth and ears, and they were measuring all kind of signals using those active sensors, and they had passive sensors on the Apple Watch, and they were comparing the two. So the future is very interesting, where AI and all of these expressions and our composition of our blood and the air we are breathing in and our expressions on our face and all, how they are changing the way we perceive. So hyper-personalization is the way to go, where privacy is kept, because the data is not going into any data center or any cloud. We are doing everything on the device, and then it gets deleted as soon as it's measured. So yeah, that was my input to what I saw just now. Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful. Thank you, Harold. I think that was, as you said, tears, and as you said, excitement. And I believe if you had any of your instruments you have talked about, they could see the excitement, which yes. I am going through right now as she presented these videos and this explanation and everything. And I will hold on my thoughts further on this, but I want to invite VGG next, and I want him to react on the linear accelerator side of the video, where we saw that piece getting depicted, and how basically in terms of AI, ML, and quantum together are, if you want to digress into any of the feature extraction areas or anything where you think VGG quantum can be more effective in measuring that piece, taking that piece to the next level. Your comments.
Thank you, Verinda. And I would like to thank also Dr. Kamat for this wonderful presentation. These days we are very much socially kind of confined. And I was thinking, well, I guess I could spend most of my time dancing during the day rather than sitting on my desk and having all these meetings in Zoom and different video conferencing. But I would like to ask if Dr. share some of the links, because there was a lacking. I think this is really a great way to try to present a complex science concepts. At least if not anything, people would enjoy watching a dance and a story. And hopefully at some point they would understand the concept. And that was kind of one of the reasons I started looking into music and quantum, because I thought that maybe it's easier to appeal to the ears to help people understand what is happening in the quantum simulation or circuit. And even when this was my first idea about startup, I was going to say, well, look, it would be great if you're in a party and they ask you, what do you do? Saying, well, I'm doing quantum physics would help you anywhere. But if you say, well, I'm doing quantum music and I can show you how to do that, here's a circuit and you can play it, this will be much more attractive and interesting to people. So I think that Dr. Kamat has found a great way to actually dance her story during the party and talking to people and popularizing science. This is really important concept. So if you can share any YouTubes or external links that people can go and visit after this session, that would be great. This would help us actually see it in a smooth way. So that's how much I can see at this point. It's kind of hard. I don't know if it was only my computer or other people were having also these time lapses. But when I was looking at these time lapses, at some point I realized, gosh, maybe it actually has a relationship to reality, because at the subatomic level, we talk about quantum effects, and their Zeitgenberg, which is kind of zigzagging of atoms and elementary particles. And then you can imagine that that's what is happening. It's just like taking a snapshot of something, then jumping from here, there, and back. But hopefully one day we'll have much better picture of the submicroscopic world and understanding through art and science. I don't know if anyone else wants to say something or comment.
I would definitely like to invite John for some comments here. John, you are from data science side. I'm not trying to put you on spot, but if you want to share any of your reactions after seeing this wonderful form of storytelling and presentation. So John, and then next, I'm definitely involving in our group here. We heard Stefan, I believe, for storytelling. Stefan, if you want to react, absolutely welcome. John, you're first. Turn on your microphone, please. John, you're there? If not, I think let's bring Bhairav back in for any additional comments or questions.
Yeah, so thank you, Mr. Virendra. So, question I have is, so the last part that she talked about was very interesting to me. So, so how do you see this area progress over time? Do you see it? Do you see like a therapies developed to improve mental health, or in general, you know, where do you see an application of this in real life that can benefit humankind? So that was one question I had, and the second question I had was, is there any research done? Is there any public data set that we can get? You know, because I do a lot of work with scientists who are in different fields at Microsoft, and some of them are doing art forms and looking at data, basically how we can, how our fingers move on a keyboard, or how our mouses move, or you know, stuff like that, and you know, other art forms. So we would like to see, and you know, we are trying all of this to security nowadays, because that's the biggest challenge. So if there is any public data set of this type of you know, biological data based on expressions, and if you can use that to train some of our algorithms for the keyboard movement of the fingers, or mouse movement, or how our eyes move, and then relate it to some security threat, that'll be perfect. Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for the comments. I would like to take the opportunity to answer a few of these questions, if I may. Yes, art is being used in many more profound ways than one could imagine. Like very well pointed out, it's dancing is used for Parkinson patients, for example, for rehabilitation. There are companies coming up with virtual reality, embodied virtual reality even, where you also use dance movements, or you have a dance trainer who helps you to inspire you to move, and thereby help the patient in the process of rehabilitation. So the application of arts, that is, just now I spoke only about dance. Now one can imagine, when you talk about arts in general, all performing arts and all the other arts in general, how much of an implication it can have. And definitely when it goes in combination with AI or machine learning, the effect is profound, and it's just super exciting and stimulating to jump into fields like that. When it comes to drawing signatures and securities, that's actually I don't know of around the world how many people are really working on it, but I have very minorly being involved, and it's one of the projects that's running in my back head, where I would like to use Bharatanatyam, because we are very well trained to move our eyes in very precise locations.
Yes.
So to use Bharatanatyam and AI and draw connections between expression and human behavior, right?
Right.
That's something I would like to do, but I don't know if somebody's already doing that, but that's something I would definitely like to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of research going on in this area today to do insider threat detection. We are trying to identify, because that's like, if you know, Microsoft win Jedi competition to do Pentagon work. So we are doing a lot of work in this area where we are trying to identify insiders threat, because that's 90% of attacks happen from inside. So eye movement is something, I'm going to show something today in my presentation later today, is on the eye movement. And yeah, I mean, it is very prevalent. And if you can have a predictable eye movement like you guys do in your dance forms, and if you can train it to detect the adversaries, that would be perfect. Thank you.
So, Dr. Pranita, thank you, Bharat. Dr. Pranita, I have one quick thought crossing my mind, which I wanted to share basically here in terms of, you mentioned virtual reality. And I believe there could be a tremendous potential there in terms of using these forms, and as you depicted in one of your videos, to explain the concept, some complex concepts explained in a very subtle, simple dance form movements, so as to convey to even students in a very interesting form all these concepts, even at actual curriculum and training areas. That could be something for future, but with all that technology that exists today, do you think that could be a good segue into the things?
Yes, definitely. It not only sparks the interest in the student, but it also encourages the student into topics like this. And actually, one of the reasons why CERN collaborated with us in doing this video was because one of the directors was pointing out that, especially in the stream of engineering and physics, women students, girl students drop out at a very early stage. Because probably of this cliched thought that men are into engineering and girls are into natural sciences or whatever that is. But the reason he wanted to collaborate with us and make us do this video is to show that arts can reach out to physics and engineering, and like this, pull the attention of girl students, women students into physics and engineering. So I think it can go both ways. It serves somebody who's not at all interested and get their attention. It also serves somebody who's completely into it, but also and visualize the entire concept. So it goes both ways.
No, thank you. I think that's where we know things are headed, and I believe that distinction is going away as we see girls are the area, boys are the area. That's a misnomer in the upcoming world and upcoming days and upcoming reality. So yes, that's one way to think about it. And I believe in terms of this form, as you very rightly mentioned, very subtle and very precise eye movement. It reminds me of exactly in some similar forms where our other heritage, things like Sanskrit, have been used into this very precise form because of a very precise language with very precise grammar rules. And the way that has been thought about to be brought in using AI and ML techniques as a form of communication as well. So this could be a very good emerging form of communication for these concepts and these ideas to go into the future. Any other questions, any other comments anybody has on the forum?
Yeah, so just to add to your comment, Virendra, there was a research published last week from the burial sites at ancient Peru. They found that expert women archers and hunters, that really, showed that even in ancient times there was no gender bias in most of the activities. That there were expert women hunters, strategists, and they found the burial sites where they could see a lot of women with bow and arrows and with tools, So I do agree with you that we are kind of turning back to where it was maybe early years of our evolution. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think it's like we say there's a general phrase, life is full cycle. We come back full cycle. So I think there were some things which maybe got buried through ages or stages or transformations or whatever happened in terms of evolution, and now we are bringing them back into reality again slowly. And I want to definitely have your comment, Bhairav, on the last research which was used at Las Vegas, where one of the C executive of Microsoft was presenting something similar to, I would say, I'm forgetting the term and terminology in terms of that hyper presence it was.
Personalization, yes.
Yeah, personal edition. Maybe you want to cite that piece also and
Sure.
see how that can definitely leverage all these forms, and virtual reality is piece of that, obviously. So
right,
yeah,
right.
I'm sure we'll discuss more in your segment, and I'll
Yes,
save that that thunder of
yes,
yours for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So if we have no more questions for Dr. Kamath, I would definitely want to thank Dr. Kamath for this wonderful presentation and bringing us into this arena of this great intersection and communication using the dance form in science. That is absolutely wonderful. Congratulations on this breakthrough and this stuff you are doing, Dr. Kamath. Thanks once again. And if any other comments you want to share before you wrap it, absolutely, but thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was wonderful presenting and very great feedback I got. And like Dr. VGG mentioned, I'm putting in links to the complete videos. I understand there were some lapse in time, and feel free to connect with me and enjoy the rest of the session. And happy Diwali all.
Thank you. Very happy Diwali to you as well. And with that, I think this is a natural segue next into Bhairav, your section, because I'm trying to knit it as this transition into data science and the AI and form, and then we want to see how Dr. Vijay will show us from that side into back into the music. So with that, I would like to invite Bhairav. Bhairav, you're there?
I'm here. Yeah.
Okay.
So
basically, just one comment I would say before I give it over to you. I'd say God created human beings. Least he knew that humans will not stop and mimic and replicate themselves to come up with creation of building software, to write poems, paint pictures, and compose music. And we are going to discuss all these three in this session today. And the first and the foremost is this creativity, which we thought will be only humans doing as God created it. But now we are trying to recreate that also through software creativity. So with that, over to you, Bhairav.
Hey, thank you, Virendra. Yes, so let me share my screen and let's talk. Yeah, you need to make me a presenter. Yeah.
Balaji, can you?
Yeah, I'm on it. Yeah. So,
thank you.
Yes, Bhairav, I made you presenter.
Yes, thank you.
Take it away, please.
Yes, very good. So let me share your screen. Okay, I hope you can see my screen.
We can, surely. Thank you.
Okay, very good. So as Mr. Virendra said, I'm Bhairav Mehta. I am an academician. I never leave school. I always study something. So I've been through like some premium institutes in the United States, in India. And I've been working for the last 7 months at Microsoft. Before that, at 10 years, I spent at Apple. In Apple, I did a lot of work in AI machine learning, in battery technology, how your phone charges, and discharges. We put in a lot of algorithms there, also for the Mac. And I worked in various areas of diagnostic systems, how your phone gets repaired and how your phone's issues or computer's issues get identified when you visit a store or call the call center. So I bet most of the systems that you see today in the Apple Store that test the iPhone, I had my hands in all over those systems. My work is there in every store, Apple Store. And before that, I was at Qualcomm, and I was working in microelectromechanical systems, where I filed several patents and try to use microelectromechanical systems to create displays or create acoustic sensors. And we have a lot of patents on that that's being used by Motorola and Apple and other cell phone manufacturers. Before that, I spent a long time in display industry at Philips, and before that, 6 years at Ford Motor Company in various automotive systems. So with that, I'm going to start the presentation. And thanks again for Balaji and Virendra for giving me opportunity to talk here. I have a brief presentation and I have some demos to show to all of you. So I'll give you some background on art and AI, right? So art and AI has been around for a while. So Dr. Hinton, Dr. Bengio, and Dr. Goodfellow, these are the scientists, who really propagated this field of AI over time, right? So they propagated this field many years back, starting in 1958 to today. So this is not something, there's nothing new about it, right? It's been around for a long time. But Dr. Goodfellow, his work in the generative adversarial networks, he used to work at Google. Last few years back, he joined Apple. And Dr. Hinton he's at Google. He did a lot of work in AI. And Dr. Bengio, a lot of his work is in a lot of areas where the music and stacked autoencoders. So all of these individuals did publish work in AI and art, and I'm going to talk about that briefly today. So AI and art has been around for a while, right? So that I said earlier. My work at Microsoft is about understanding hyper-personalized signals to build models that can detect security threats, also to detect, to improve, robustness of the AI, because 95% of AI models today, like we were talking to Airbus, the aircraft maker last week, and, with the hyper-personalization signals, we were able to attack almost all of their vision systems that they use to guide airplane to the airport gate and stuff like that. So we are doing a lot of work in that area, try to attack the vision systems that are running critical, critical systems around the world that may have very bad consequences if they are attacked, right? So I do a lot of work in that area at Microsoft in security area and with hyper-personalization. We recently found a biggest ransomware, attacker using these type of techniques, right? And it was an insider in one of the government agencies. So that's like AI is nowadays being attacked so if you have a vulnerability in your system, every 29 seconds somebody will try to attack you, right? Because that's a statistic out there. So with that, I'm going to go into art side, okay? So what an AI cannot create, it does not understand, right? So that's what Dr. Goodfellow has said. And he's a big proponent of generative adversarial networks. For example, generative adversarial networks are essentially networks that can create art form or create add perturbations to existing phenomenon. It can be a video, it can be an audio file, it can be a image, and it can introduce perturbations and over time take over the phenomenon itself and make it like the perturbation. So in that transition, it creates the various forms of transition. That's where interesting things happen, right? So what an AI cannot create, it does not understand, right? So there's a concept of style transfer, which is very very interesting. We'll talk about that, like how you can add style to the existing image. There's a product called NSynth, it's a sound maker, make unusual new sound with machine learning. And there's a portal, I'm going to show a demo later on, where you can create various form of sound using using artificial intelligence, mainly generative adversarial networks. Then there is performance RNN, where we are looking at various, as you see on the right-hand side, you can have a recurrent neural network, and even transformers these days, you are able to create a lot of R forms in that area, right? So that is an interesting part, that you can create a new set of music, new set of sounds using performance RNNs. So you can have real audio, then you have a waveform GAN, a phase GAN, an instantaneous frequency GAN. So it kind of combines various forms of music and added natural perturbation. So let's say you want to, I'm speaking right now, so maybe Balaji can record my voice for like 20 minutes. I'm going to talk, and then he can take all my perturbations of the voice, and then next time when he's talking, he wants to talk like me, he can easily copy my voice and my style of talking, how I pause, how I press upon some of the words, so basically you can copy anybody's voice using copy GAN or style GAN, and this is what it is showing, how you can augment the two voices and create a voice form that is uncanny. That's how we are doing these days for the call centers, right? The automated call centers, you can put anybody's voice, like Alexa nowadays can speak like voice of Amir Khan or Pierce Brosnan or whoever, different celebrities. If you're ready to pay $1 a month, you are able to hear anybody's voice in your Alexa, right? So that is again, a form of GAN. The turning photograph into artwork, the neural style transfer. So this is a color quantization where you are able to compress an image using quantization like clustering methods, the k-means clustering methods. The two images that you see on the top and the bottom, both are images, but the first one is an original image on the left-hand side top. But then we are able to take the pixels and cluster the similar pixels together and rate them. So the first image on the left-hand side is a few million color image, which is very big compared to the bottom image, where only 25 colors are showing, but it still looks the same as the top image. So there was a research published by NVIDIA a month and a half back that said that they're able to use just 10% of pixels in a video and create a fresh video. That is a breakthrough in teleconferencing. Nowadays, we all are like in social distancing, and we all, work from our office at home. And the challenges we have is the quality of video, because everybody's not privileged to have high-speed internet. Forget about US, other parts of the world. With NVIDIA's research, you are able to compress a video at the same time, use just few pixels and predict the rest of the video and create a very high quality video on the other end. So you don't need a high-speed internet. You can live with very, very low speed internet and still have high quality video. So that was a very interesting research I found. This is super pixel segmentation, where you are able to create segments of the picture and create art forms. This is the neural style transfer, so you can add like Van Gogh image on the top of the image, This is a VGG19 CNN architecture. This is the architecture that was built by Microsoft almost 7-8 years back, but today it's being used by most of the vision systems. So you go nowadays in Bay Area, if you live in the Bay Area, you know, most of the streets are becoming, you know, most of the highways and expressways are becoming toll, right? So there is a way to put a sticker on your license plate that will you know, deter these vision systems from detecting your license plate. So you know, it has been tried and it's working, right? Unless the DMV changes some stuff or Caltron changes their system, the one they are using right now is easily attackable, right? So they are using this VGG19 architecture, the California Caltron, to detect the license plate. So you can create like filter visualizations. So as the neural network is trying to understand your image, you can basically cut off, like go intervene, like our brain. You know, our brain, if you see the way our brain works, you see the way our brain works, you know, we have several cortexes, right? So when our eyes see something, it goes into the visual cortex, and then audio visual cortex, and all the way back to your prefrontal cortex. So all of this, you know, is a developed brain. Like we all evolved from reptiles, you know, we still have reptilian brain in our brain. In the back of our brain is amygdala, that is our reptilian brain, and that is responsible for all the extreme emotions like the anger, hunger, jealousy. All of those are part of the, not jealousy, but anger and hunger, and if you eat me or I'll eat you type of survival feelings, all that come from amygdala. But all the developed visual cortexes gives us a way to understand images. The first thing we look at is edges and corners and contours and object parts. And when we were 3-4 years old, our parents told us that this is a chair, this is a table, this is a tree, this is a flower. And that's how our vision systems got trained. We did not come with anything pre-trained in our brain. We got trained as we matured and as we grew. So this is what I'm trying to say here, is what I'm showing you here is you are kind of going in between. As the signals are passing through your eyes to your visual cortex, to your prefrontal cortex, you're kind of intervening and getting the images, how the layers of neural networks are able to understand your image, right? So then that's where you intervene and add a new style, and you are able to change the style. Same way as is shown here, how the Van Gogh style is getting transferred, right? Using gram matrix, right? So how it gets scanned, you know. So this is another very interesting way of looking at it. You can create style forms. As you see, the images are getting transformed. Images are getting transformed, you know, as they progress, right? So so basically, so that's something I wanted to share in this slide deck. I have other demos to show that will be interesting to see to you guys. So let me show you a demo here. I just so I was just looking at the this one right here. This particular demo is showing how our eyes are, how it is getting developed over time. You know, so you are seeing, you know, how this person is able to see various how the eyeballs, because how accurately a TensorFlow model is able to detect your eyes and see the movement. And if you see, if you have you know, developed eyes right now, you can see on the left-hand side top, I'm collecting a lot of statistics. This is an engineer in my team. We have developed this model. His eyes are most prominent in our team, so we are using him as a guinea pig. And you can see here how he's able to track his eye movements, you see, and collect so much statistics on how fast he's blinking his eyes, where is he moving the eyes, what is he focusing on, what information he's reading, right? All of that on the screen, right, we are able to detect very clearly, right? And we have built a software around that. And the second part of this video, we are looking at, the retina scanning. So I remember in 2001, 2002, I did a lot of human factor research at Ford Motor Company at my university also. Try to do like work study, time study on the shop floor, where they used to make the four-wheel drive system for the F-150s. We used to do a lot of motion studies and try to see how we can improve the worker, health and their fitness, because people get sprained ankles and sprained back because they have to carry those heavy gearboxes. Robots weren't there at that time. I'm talking about 25, 23 years back. So we used to do a lot of motion study and try to identify the eye movements, the hand movements. But now you see where the science is going. It's quite impressive where the art forms can be created, right? There's another very interesting work I wanted to share was the music, right? So let me show you the music part. So this is the Magenta. It is Google's arm in Southern California. They do a lot of this type of work on music and art forms. So this is the demo of that, where we are looking at performance RNNs, where we can create our own art form, our music. It's able to create that. So you can hear. I can change the gain, and it's able to create. Various different art forms. As you see, I can add more amplitude here, and these are different, basically different art forms, music. I can set and change. These are basically neural network hyperparameters that I'm changing here, and how the music is changing, right? So these are the kind of things that is very common these days. You are able to create various art forms and able to sketch information. So Google has this doodle creation, right? So you can scratch anything and it will create a real image for you, right? You can scratch, you can sketch anything with your mouse or your sketch pen on the tablet, and it will create the art form for you. And this is the kind of network it uses to that. So you see how it's getting developed. I have a friend who works for this company in Oakland, California. She is into this handwriting creation. So you can train it on your handwriting, and over time it creates the form that looks like your handwriting. You can type and it will write your handwriting. There's a lot of conditional reconstructions. You can create different type of reconstructions of your image. Variational encoder, arrow encoders, latent space arrow autoencoders. You are able to create a lot of different art forms. Like you can create like a face and the body and the pig, and you remove the pig and you create art form. Right here you have a pig, you have a cat minus cat, and you create this art form. So you are able to do calculations using art forms, and this is just mind-blowing to me. What are the possibilities in this, right? Predicting ending of incomplete sketches. So you can just start with a line, and it will create the sketch for you, right, over time. It can predict, right? There is a demo here we can look at, right? Creative applications, you can generate large number of similar but unique designs. And we use this as for security a lot, especially to deter an attack to our systems. Like what we do is that like people just throw a ransomware on your computer, and at some point they will detonate the ransomware when it's the right time. And that's when the whole hell breaks loose, especially in the COVID-19 time. You can see every medical institution is getting attacked, and for ransomware, and they are asking for millions of dollars for patient records. And this is just ridiculous what's going on. UCSF had a big attack. regional medical in San Jose had a big attack recently. So all of these, we are trying to do this type of pattern designs and trying to understand what is the modus operandi of the attacker and attack them on the path of attack instead of because nowadays medical systems use a lot of edge compute devices, IoTs, and that's where the attack is happening. We are creating this type of, we call it barrage of random transforms, or create an overwatch of pattern of different signals coming in, anti-fuzzing techniques and stuff like that. They all start nowadays are moving into GAN type of generative adversarial network type of activity. So with this, I will conclude. I did not get time to work on it because work on a lot of. I have so much to share, but I just did not get time to prepare. Because I was just so busy with work. But thank you again for your opportunity to teach and to share my knowledge. There is a course in Cadenzi. This is an institute in Southern California. Cadenzi offers training in the area of art and AI, and they have a very good course called Deep Learning with AI. So I'll just show you a video before I go. So let's give me a second here. I'm going to show you that. That will be very eye-opener for you guys. Yeah. Yeah, so here it is. So let me share my screen again. I hope you can see my screen now. So this is the video I wanted to share. It's loading. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So this is the creative application of TensorFlow, and
deep learning has emerged at the forefront of nearly every major computational breakthrough in the last 4 years. It's no wonder that it's already in many of the products that we use today, from Netflix or Amazon's personalized recommendations, to the filters that block our spam, or to the ways that we interact with personal assistants like Apple Siri or Microsoft Cortana. In short, deep learning algorithms are capable of some amazing things, but it's not just science applications that are benefiting from this research. Artists, too, are starting to explore how deep learning can be used in their own practice. I'm Parag Mittal, artist, researcher, and director of machine intelligence at Cadenzi. In this course, we're going straight to the state of the art. We're going to learn it all. We'll see how to make an algorithm paint an image or hallucinate objects in a photograph. We'll see how to train a computer to recognize objects in an image and use this knowledge to drive new and interesting behaviors, from understanding the similarities and differences in large data sets to using them to self-organize, to understanding how to infinitely generate entirely new content or match the aesthetics or contents of other images. We'll even see how to teach a computer to read and synthesize new phrases. But we won't be using other people's code to do all of this. We're going to develop everything ourselves using TensorFlow, and I'm going to show you how to do it. This course isn't just for artists, nor is it just for programmers. It's for people who want to learn more about how to apply deep learning with a hands-on approach, straight into the IPython console, and learn what it all means through creative thinking and interaction. Join me as we learn all about creative applications of deep learning with TensorFlow.
Yeah, so this is it. This is what I wanted to share. Thank you, Virendra. Thank you, Balaji. Yes.
Hey, thank you so much, Bhairav. And I have a quick question for you. You were sharing in your presentation about some eyes and extractions and expressive eyes. So my question comes out of curiosity. We have different set of people, different type of eyes, and some of them may not be very expressive, and how in such situations what algorithms or ML is used to basically extrapolate the information, or something alternatively is used to get to the mode of anger, happiness, or anything which we were trying to basically conclude to that information.
Yeah, so eyes is not the only one, right? So we look at multimodal intent, right? So intent mapping. So what we do is we look at the breath pattern, we look at the keyboard, how fast you're typing, how hard you are pressing your mouse, you know, how you're moving your mouse, what pattern you're moving your mouse, your eyes, your eyebrows. We look at the hair pattern. We look at the color of your face, your ear movement, what kind of ears you have, and we are training these on millions of different models, right? Different people, right? So, and there are a lot of work being done in this area right now. So it's like a slam dunk. I think our face and our voice, and it kind of gives away a lot of things that you can't even imagine. Yeah, so what we are doing, let me complete. So we use this signals that coming from all these different sensors, right? That we are collecting it from your watch, from your camera, from your speaker mic receivers, you know, touch sensors, all of that, right? And what we are doing is we are collecting all of these signals and then putting those signals into like, you know, something like a hidden Markov model, or even the long short-term memory RNN models, or even transformers. These are the areas of neural network models. And we are able to map those signals to intents. And that's where the real science come in, that how we can, because those sensors are being developed by Samsung and Apple and these guys, right? But those signals, how we take those signals and combine them together. And like you said, some people's eyes are not strong. Some people's voice is not strong enough, right? So we are able to augment all of it and bring the right intent from it. And that's where the science is. Yeah.
Perfect. So it's a holistic approach we are taking, rather than purely only focusing on few, but we are looking at holistic set of features in terms of eyes, face expressions, a cost, talking, or sometimes even maybe some, I would say, opening remarks, something like that.
How you move your head and all that, yeah. You're
right. And exactly, I'm bringing that simply into 23andMe, where we were collecting a lot of human data for DNA. And now, as those systems are maturing and they are collecting more and more data, we are getting more and more accurate, I would say, inferences out of that data. And the early and the late entrance into those systems, they are being shared the revised information, for example, on DNA side and this. So I believe these systems are also in terms of a constant, I would say, progression and maturity as we collect more and more data signals for feature extraction and bring them into consolidated systems. Is that correct to say?
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, all of it will be linked, you know. But then hyper-personalization is something which is very important in this time, because you can't democratize this information. It's just for you and maybe few people who want to, who is getting damaged or getting adversarially affected by your activity. Only those people, you know, if you're working in security, all bets are off, right? I mean, if you work in Pentagon, you are being tracked, right?
And that's what I was alluding to next paragraph, that security and privacy, they are a complete full-fledged sessions for discussion.
Sure. Thank you, Virendra.
Right? Yeah. Thank you so much, Parav. And I believe VGG wanted to say something, ask something, or otherwise we are ready to move on to the last section for music using quantum and science. So VGG, you have been introduced, you have already talked a few things. We already seen some examples through Bhairav's introduction of music. With that, I would say elaborate some more and take us into the realm of music. Over to you, VGG.
Thank you, Virendra. I would like to thank the previous presenters, and especially Dr. Mehta. That was really very interesting presentation on machine learning. But as you've seen, sound and visual effects, things that we are all interested in. And if I get control over the screen sharing, I can start my presentation.
Balaji, could you do the honors, please?
Yeah, I'll give that. Sure.
Thank you, Balaji.
But while we're okay,
guys, while we are waiting for Balaji to share the screen, VGG has been our guiding force on quantum physics and the basis while we started this group. And he has been sharing his quantum physics knowledge and practically teaching us again. I was one of the few who had quantum physics background as well from my grad program before my research and my MBA, but there were a lot of people in the group who got benefited with all the efforts and volunteering VGG did for us. Thank you, VGG, for that once again.
Thank you. So I'm just taking time configuring my system. Apparently, I have to give rights to GoToMeeting. Are we using GoToMeeting? Yeah. Uh-oh, I have to restart GoToMeeting. You may lose me for a minute. Okay.
Yeah, I'll make you presenter once again once you join. Yeah.
Balaji, you have to give me again the screen permissions.
Oh, it shows there. Anyway, I'll try that.
While we are waiting for that, any other participants, any reactions, any comments? Bhairav, anything more if still comes to mind while we are waiting? John? Stefan, anything about storytelling while we are waiting for VGG to get set up?
Yeah, Professor, you have two sessions going on. Anyway, I'll try one first. The last one is... Yeah, I given the presentation.
Try the other one. This one is not.
All right.
Yeah, try the other one. Because you came in second time, so I think first may not have died through yet. Yeah,
Okay.
you're the presenter. I can see that, VGG.
Okay, so do you see my screen?
Or not?
Not yet. There could be slight lag, maybe. I do definitely see you as the presenter when I hover around.
Yeah, now it is.
You see it now? Yeah.
Okay. How about now? Do you see the Quantum Open Source Foundation?
We do see that.
You don't?
We do see.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure that you can see and let me figure out how to paste now. In the chat.
You're trying to share a link?
Yes, I'm trying to paste in the GoToMeeting the links that would be relevant to people so that they can look at them. But I don't have the control ways my chat. Can somebody send a message in the chat to everybody?
Wait a second. So if you see on top of your screen, right side, you should see a chat symbol next to settings icon, VGG, and you can click on that.
The thing is that I'm in the full screen, and when I'm like this, I don't see anything, and I don't see how to exit this full screen.
And press an escape key, you should be able to access your chat link. Otherwise, you can send it and Balaji can include it for the participants later, unless you want us to click something right now.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah, click on this and then go back
No,
to.
it doesn't let me do anything. Well, let me stop maybe this way. Okay, here's actually some of the links relevant to my presentation. And the idea is that you should be able to take a look at your own pace. I don't know how much of that is available through the slides, and I know that usually it's difficult to click on something that's on the slides. And I don't know how to separate them in a reasonable way. Probably I'll just paste them one by one. So, and now, in case somebody wants to contact me for follow-up questions, you can always contact me on LinkedIn. So let me start again my presentation. And I hope now you see, I mean, the front slide about my talk. It's a pleasure to be part of this discussion. I'll try to kind of present a very brief talk. And while I'm talking, I'll try to turn on some of the music that you'll be listening. Can you hear that?
Yes, please.
Okay. I don't know how to control the level of this one, but basically this is a sound from the D-Wave, and I hope you can see it on my screen, right? So, I mean, quantum computing is kind of a hot topic these days. As you can see from Garnier graph, basically it's probably in the top of the hype. And definitely for me, who is in this area, I mean, I can see there is a lot of news articles and discussions about quantum computing, its applicability, and so on. Now, when Balaji asked me to talk about quantum computing and waves and music, and of course, we will wonder why is this connection and what is there to connect. it's interesting to see that when you're doing quantum computing and you Google it, you will see a lot of results. This is here, actually, I'm using Bing because I like the way Bing presents images. And there are a variety of images of quantum computers. And do you see my mouse kind of going around and pointing at different places?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's kind of the processor, but most of the time what you see is actually a big refrigerator. Here's IBM Quantum, and the processor is down at the bottom where it's actually very low temperature. Now, when you look at this, it looks very much like the 50s and 40s last century, the first computers, ENAC, and so on, coming up online. But also, if you think about sound, this doesn't look much different, right? It's almost practically the same picture. It's the organ that I was playing in the background. And basically, how do you connect all this quantum? Quantum is actually the theory about microscopic worlds, how subatomic particles behave. And at the large scale, we have the general relativity in cosmology and things that are happening in the universe. Now, these are two great theories, but people believe that quantum is applicable in general, even at the large scale. And we have theories like quantum cosmology that we are trying to understand what we see around us in the universe. The basic kind of concepts in quantum is the Schrödinger equation, which is actually a wave equation. So here are different variations of pictures. When you Google Schrödinger equation and quantum mechanics, you'll see that these are basically waves. And as you know, sound is a wave. Even light, when we see images, are waves. So this is naturally showing us that there's a lot of mathematical connection between waves and reality. But our ears, the way we perceive sound is interesting, and it's one of the main tools that we communicate with each other, with dance, visualizing it, hearing what people are talking to. Superposition is the main thing, that you can actually add two waves together and you can get a little bit more complicated thing. So in quantum mechanics, there are three fundamental principles that are usually not present in classical systems. One is the superposition, where you can add two apparently mutually exclusive classically states of a system, and you can create a new system which is combination of these states. Here is the example of famous Schrödinger cat, which is taking this idea far too far about a dead and alive cat and claiming that we don't know what is the state of the cat until we observe it. But the main point is that quantum mechanics require superposition and allows to put a system in superposition to describe it. Now, another kind of phenomena is tunneling. Usually, if you have to bring a big snowball over on the other side of a hill, you have to climb the hill and then roll it on the other side. Of course, this is happening for macroscopic objects, but for microscopic, like atoms and molecules and subatomic particles, basically they can tunnel. And this is kind of interesting example. I was thinking when I was watching the Dance Your Science demo of our speaker today, how would you represent tunneling effect, where basically something which stands on one valley can suddenly appear on the other side without having to climb it up and coming down just because it doesn't have enough energy to climb up to the top. And the third kind of effect in quantum world is entanglement. This is kind of a really puzzling effect where you can have two objects that are very, very far apart, separated, but when they are prepared in a particular state, then measurement on one of them, you would know what is exactly the state on the other. And doesn't matter how you try to trick, it seems that practically information is transferred instantaneous on the other side. Now, there is no really instantaneous transmission, because if you want to observe this phenomena, you actually have to collect these two records on both sides at one place and then start comparing. But then nevertheless, you see these amazing correlations. But for now, for music, we'll talk a little bit more and explore the superposition. You've heard how different tones could be superimposed. And I wanted to switch again to this place in my talk to start few other sounds. Here is another composition. And those of you who are much better at sound, probably you can recognize the different instruments and sounds that are superimposed and added together to create a composition. So this is one of the examples where we can have application of quantum computing, and I think this is the ultimate application, aside from the obvious applications of quantum computing. I mean, as a computing paradigm, it would improve quantum computing overall. And of course, when you do things with computers, this affects definitely finance, anything that would do with numbers, and also health, personalized help, or travel and understanding science. But ultimately, understanding and creating art and style that is unique to artists would be the ultimate artificial intelligence, which I hope that quantum computing can bring in. So as I went back and forth with the sound before, one of the links that I shared was actually from this article from 2016, where the D-Wave computer was used to actually accompany famous singer Giulietta Puccin singing in front of the crowd in a festival at Port Elliot Festival in Cornwall. So this was one of the articles in the link, and you can follow and read more. But if you look up, then you'll find some other applications. This was an example where you can see how sounds like do and mi, when represented as a wave, can be added as a quantum computer, and this could be actually interpreted as a specific quantum circuit. So here is actually an interpretation of a quantum circuit as a sound generator, and you can have different combinations. So this is the superposition that I was talking to, and a little bit more examples, also coming from Eduardo Miranda. So Eduardo is a professor and a researcher in music who embraced the quantum paradigm, and that was some of the sound that I was letting you listening here. So this is a minute, although we are running out of time. I'll let you listen to the whole for a minute. And this is the composition that he can create it as a superposition and trying to demonstrate quantum computing scenario. So while I'm talking, I can browse here to his article, and I think you enjoyed listening and reading the article sometime later. You can try to get hold of him. If you have any difficulties talking to him or getting in touch, let me know through my LinkedIn, and I'll put you in touch with him if you have other follow-up questions. Another person that is great and doing this is James Weaver. He actually has a very nice presentation, and also himself started to paraphrasing Feynman, who is one of the great people that is involved with pushing the idea of quantum computing, where his original phrase was that to understand quantum world, our classical computers are not powerful and not good enough, so we would really need a quantum computer. In this presentation, James is actually modifying this and saying to have music, you need a quantum mechanical device to understand bongo music. So I'll start his presentation briefly here.
I'll be presenting are live at the URL up there. And if you want to follow along, that'd be great. There are a lot of resources that I'll be pointing at. Got a couple of blogs, technical blog at javafexpert.com and my...
So as I mentioned, this is one of the links that I posted when we are talking to. And basically here are some snapshots of things that I remember giving in the Hacker Dojo as a presentation to the people there. And maybe that's why Balaji wanted me to really do a demo on this. But I thought that it's better to show the originator of the app who developed this quantum computing music composition process, where you can select how much you would add C and D composition. Basically, like what would be your recipe and how much of different tones would be added together. With this, I will stop at picture here where you can see this kind of a superposition. For example, D and C note, which are orthogonal to each other, but then you can have a D and C superposition note, which will be a little bit different, that you can represent it on a sphere. So with this, I will finish my presentation because we are coming close to our end of the our meeting, and see if anyone has any questions or anything that you would like me to elaborate more.
We are into practically last 2 minutes of our stipulated time, so I'll allow our participants to ask any questions.
Yeah, it was interesting to know about the quantum music. It is a very it went from macro level top to micro level. Even Virendra presented in a sequence which is from macro level dance to medium AI and went into micro level. So that is a sequence really I liked it. And we had a quantum music presented by Professor Veselin last year, and Virendra was playing one of the Hindi song, and it was interesting. That's why I thought it is a Diwali time. We can play some music for Diwali. So anyway, I'm interested to revive this project, what Veselin is created as a software, and is trying to create quantum music. It is not much attention we got, but it should get. That is the field. Now quantum is getting attention. I think it will revive once again to create some music which is individualistic, and also one music can be heard in a different ways at the same time. So that is a kind of art combined in a science. So this maybe needs some more research. If anybody interested to join with the professor, and we can revive this as a project to continue. And maybe we can contact some music directors or somebody who can sponsor this.
Thank you, Balaji. So if any of you know somebody who can do progressive web app development, I would love to connect with them. And if they're interested, probably we can bring this kind of a project to real app that you can run on your phone, and then you can share music experience and compositions with your friends. I would love to do this forward, but I would like to take the time to answer one question from Sonia. She is asking, do you know of some research about quantum music and potential health effects? Now, I don't know specifically on quantum music. I know people that are focusing on healing through music, and definitely I think there is a connection because our mind is actually a remarkable processing unit, and our ears are feeding our mind. So basically listening to music is one of the things that we really enjoy, and definitely when something is bringing joy, it can help us heal better. I know people who are working on this, trying to bring healing methods through music. Specific quantum, I'm not sure. I really hope that listening to music can help you understand better quantum, like superposition, and try to build a quantum intuition if you are trying to work on quantum and understand quantum phenomena. So I see Sonia posted some link. Sonia, can you post the link in a way that is clickable? I'm not sure. Oh, okay. I can copy it and see how this would come out.
And also thanks to Stefan also for posting a similar link, soundworkcollections.com.
Yeah. So I don't want to actually overextend our session. Feel free to contact me on LinkedIn, and we can take and talk more. And if you really want to get into quantum computing, I mean, I would recommend the Open Source Foundation. As I mentioned, right now we have about 100 mentees, and basically we work with them on the projects of their own interests, guiding them how to make their project, their idea, final to something that they can show to the public and make a progress in their studies of quantum computing. So with that, I want to have the back to Virinda and to thank everybody for coming for today. Thanks, Virinda. Take it from here.
Thank you, VGG. Thank you so much for this wonderful section on sound and music. No better day than Diwali day for this festive music thing. And I'm sure people will try to make it more festive as they get connected more. And thanks for sharing the project ideas as well. So I think science, communication using dance, AI and arts, and finally music. And that should be our perfect segue into getting into the Diwali mode. Once again, to all of you, very happy Diwali, Festival of Lights as we call it. And I hope 2021 brings you all the shiny and brightness in the life as compared to 2020, and this darkness should be over soon. And with that, back to Venkatesh and Balaji. Thank you very much. This is, again, we come back to the next presentation, same channel, another time. Look forward to the posting from Balaji for the next meetup. I'm sure there are some already lined up, already posted as well. So see you until then. Thank you. Thank you, Balaji.
Thanks, Virendra, for coordinating in a sequence way. It was very interesting, and also a lot of interesting question came. Sonia's question was, we have another meetup called bioastronomy, where we map using AI to biological pattern to the astronomical pattern. So I mean, she has also raised a question about medical area where after COVID, a lot of things, health-related topics are sprouting. And even we did a quantum and quantum cure, something like that. In that angle, quantum can be used, the quantum music can be used for curing maybe COVID also. Maybe, so because everything is a vibration, COVID virus has a kind of wavelength virus in a quantum level. If we can record that wavelength and make it as a music, and if you can counteract with another music, maybe we can nullify this effect of COVID also. Maybe that is interesting research. If VG is interested, we can create a quantum cure music. With that, I'll hand over to Venkatesh, and he will be doing the final closing points.
Well, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, it's been a wonderful session. Thank you, Virendra, for taking us through this wonderful, again, really informative, thought-provoking discussion, and obviously from our speakers, for them to have come on a Saturday morning and be able to talk through some of these things. I learned a lot personally, and I got to say this. I mean, a lot of things have been said. The only thing that I would love to say is now go make some music, everybody. Right?
Beautiful way to end it, Venkatesh. Absolutely.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you the next time. Bye.
Yeah.